Hey everybody, so I stripped down this old 80s Miele that I had, and the rear wheel's kind of messed up in two ways. As you can see here, it looks like it's kind of like wobbling, and really what that is the tire not seated properly. And I'm just going to say this right now so that you don't get messed up later thinking that I didn't true the wheel properly. Now, you can see here that the wheel is a little bit untrue and it throws you off because of that tire. So you have to be able to look past that and actually see the problems with the rim. And you can see here that it's kind of like a little bit of a wave there, right? It's nothing really big, but again, it's that tire that kind of throws you off. So it needs a little bit of truing that I'm going to be doing. The first thing I'm going to do is quickly check the dish. Now, we're going to start on the non-drive side. And then flip it over. And then we'll compare on the drive side. And you can see that it's not dished properly. Now, I can't remember if I did that because like to fit it in that bike's particular frame, but what I'm going to do here is I'm not sure I'm going to reuse it, so I'm just going to dish it back. Now, I didn't really film this well. You can't really see what I'm doing, but basically all I'm doing is I'm just tightening up the tension on the drive side about a half turn. So I'm going to do this all the way around on the drive side, and then if it needs a little bit more, what I'm going to do is loosen off on the non-drive side, because that's probably what I did when I dished it improperly so it fit into that bike, but I don't know. I'm just going to do it this way and it should work out. And that should also tell you something about dishing, like and wheel tension, that you want it to be perfect, but it's never going to be absolutely perfect. As long as you're kind of within the guidelines and somewhere, you know, like a little bit tighter than just regular rideable tension, and definitely not lower than an initial tension, then you're going to be totally fine. And another reason that I'm doing this is my buddy was using it out in the salty weather, and you know, like we want to make sure that we can turn the spoke nipples so that we can actually true the wheel. So here you go. After I've dished it, you can see there's a little bit of a wave going on, and all we got to do is just kind of true that out. Now, there's a little bit going over to the non-drive side, a little bit to the drive side. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to put the indicator arms as close as possible to the rim and really see where it touches. Then we're just going to find the offending spoke, and we'll either loosen or tighten. Now, you're going to tighten probably on the non-drive side and then loosen on the drive side, because I'd already dished the wheel and I've increased the tension a little bit. We'll have increased the tension on the drive side more than on the non-drive side because we were loosening the tension. So essentially it's kind of like you have the dish, and what you want to do is just make all the fine tuning on the non-drive side because it has less tension than the drive side. So here you go. You can see I'm just going to go back and forth and tighten up here and loosen over there. But the majority of what I'm doing is going to be on the non-drive side. I could go and I could tell you every exact move that I make, but it really doesn't teach you a whole lot. Simply because every wheel is going to be different. Like every truing session is going to be its own session. So just because you're able to do it once a certain way on one wheel doesn't mean that it's going to work out the exact same way on the next wheel. There you can see I'm just kind of pulling it along, and you can see there's a bit of a long kind of draw there where it's touching, and all you want to do is a little bit of fine tuning, just tweaking. You don't want to do like quarter turns at this point. You want to be doing half turns. So there you can see there's kind of like a hop sort of. So what I want to do is tighten it up over to the non-drive side. And then you just keep doing that. Like you can see there are hops here and there, and you find the offending spoke on each one, just like this. And then you just got to remember, which way to turn it. And this kind of reminds me, someone was asking which way you turn the nipples in order to tighten, something like that. And it really depends. On a newer build, it's a whole lot easier to do it the way that I'm doing. Like I'm doing it down near the indicator arms, which, like that's pretty much the way that it would be recommended to do it. But sometimes you get these old wheels and you need to really reef on the nipples. So what I do is I bring the wheel up if I need more leverage, because it's a little more difficult, when you have like salt kind of seizing up the nipple movement, and it can be a real problem. You can break a spoke that way, or you can strip the nipple. So I guess to answer that guy's question, if that really is his question, do you turn it all one way? No, you have to loosen and tighten. Now, loosening and tightening is different. So if you were to tighten on the top side, you're kind of tightening clockwise. But if you're tightening on the bottom side near the indicator arms, you're tightening counterclockwise. So it's really interesting. It's something that you kind of have to do for yourself. Now you can see here, I just kind of pointed out that we're getting a little bit closer to true here. You can see there's kind of like little hops and stuff like that. And this rim wasn't brand new when I got it. Like this wheel wasn't brand new, so I'm not expecting it to be perfect. Plus, my buddy was riding it around and he's pretty rough on things. Like he's rough on wheels, he's rough on everything. There you go. You can see that there's still tiny little waves, but look at the margin there. Like look at the margin. It's maybe like 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters. I'm not going to be expecting perfection on a used wheel. It's kind of just a fruitless endeavor, to be perfectly honest. It's sort of a like, how true do you want it scenario. Now, I'm going to try my best to get it as good as I can, but in the end, if you can get it pretty close, even if there's a bit of a wave, it's just not really going to matter, because, we're going to be using probably cheap brake pads anyway. So I'm going to call that good, and now I'm going to check the dish on the wheel again. We'll start on the non-drive side again. You can see there's no spacing, it's nice and flat. Then we'll flip it over. We'll compare with the drive side, like so, and you can see, there you go, no space. So we finished the truing session, and the dish is perfect. There you go. Now, there's still the problem with the tire, but you have to just be able to ignore that if you want to see yourself as a professional or someone with apt knowledge in truing wheels. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you out in distinguishing what you need to do for each wheel during its truing session. Okay, again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.